Fighting EX Layer has been quite the talking point in the FGC recently. The game consists of the EX-specific characters from the Street Fighter EX series that existed on arcade and PlayStation 1 many years ago. The cast consists of many fan favourites such as Garuda, Skullomania, and Doctrine Dark to name a few, all of which were playable in the EX games but would never appear on future titles. Fighting EX Layer has seen to that, as a standalone fighting game where the entire cast is made up of the EX-only characters, something many of us have been waiting for a very long time. If you're like me and have been waiting an age for this game to exist, welcome back. For this video, allow me to take you through a brief introduction to what makes Fighting EX Layer unique, and how to get started if you're either a returning player who loved the EX games growing up, or a brand new player starting from the beginning. And before we get started, this is all taken from the December 2017 beta, so of course be prepared for any of this information to change in future builds. The beta consists of 6 characters: Darren Meister, Garuda, Kairi, Shirase, Skullomania, and Alan Snyder. They very much play like their previous versions. I was able to get hands-on with the characters that I used in EX2 Plus back in the day, and pretty much knew what I was doing from the get-go thanks to the classic control system. Their basic combos feel the same, on top of the new systems in place that allow for some other forms of attacking, which we'll get into now. As a 6-button fighting game, you have light punch and light kick, medium punch and medium kick, and finally heavy punch and heavy kick. Some characters have command normals that involve a directional input. Alan Snyder, for example, has an extra normal that involves forward and medium kick. This, of course, is different for each character. It's a back-to-block fighting game, so hold away from the opponent to block their attacks, and hold down and back to, of course, block lows. Characters have a universal overhead by pressing both mediums together. It can't be special cancelled, but it can be super cancelled for combo potential. You just have to commit to it instead. The classic link system from previous EX games does make a return, meaning that specifically timed normals in succession can sometimes link together, forming a combo. A simple example would be something like crouching medium punch into crouching medium kick, which can often be special cancelled for extra combo potential. However, there is an extra combo system in place in EX Layer, and it involves chain combos. With no timing required, you can chain normals together and make on-the-spot combos instead. If a normal can be special cancelled, this will still apply during the chain combo. For example, a simple chain combo would be light punch, medium punch, and heavy kick, and will act as a 3-hit combo. Chains will work from any combination of kick to punch, however, you can't go backwards in strength, meaning that if you start the chain with medium, you can only go into heavy, and can't go for medium light heavy. But if you start with a light, you can go light, medium, and heavy together in that order. Command normals work in chains as well, but can be added to any point of a chain combo, making hit confirming a chain into super significantly easier. Comboing links and chains together is also possible, as you can link one normal into another with correct timing, and then start your chain combo off the normal that you've just linked with. Now the movement in EX Layer is quite interesting. Characters can walk, backdash, and run. To run, you simply input forward twice as normal, but you'll instantly start running. The run can be cancelled with any button press, and any button that you press can be chained or linked together as normal. Run is basically a means to get your rushdown started incredibly quickly. Run speeds are different amongst the cast. Skullomania runs incredibly fast, while someone like Darren Meister has a slightly slower run speed. Interestingly, when you stop running, you slide forward a little bit. The momentum happens regardless of whether you're pressing a button or not. If you stop running, you'll start to slide. This means that meaty normals that can be linked off are actually easier to perform if you run first, as there's no pushback, and you're in a better range to link your next attack. This also applies to chains. Some chains won't connect fully as there's too much knockback regularly, but if you run first, this problem doesn't apply. It essentially means that if things stay this way, instant run into a link or button will become very important in the future, as some combos will only work if you run first. Let's talk about supers. Supers pretty much function like most supers in 2D fighting games. Each super will cost 1 bar of your super meter, which is underneath your health. You have 3 bars total. Down forward, punch or kick, down back, double 360 motion, the usual stuff really, but that's not what makes EX unique. In EX, you can chain supers back to back. At specific points in each super, you can input another one of your character's supers to extend the combo for more damage. Let's look at another example for this. Darren Meister can combo into Twilight Lariat, which is down forward punch, and after a few hits, input the Power Indra Bridge with down back kick to extend your combo further for more damage. Experimentation is key here. Find out what supers link together and how many hits of each super you can let rock before inputting the next one, maximizing damage anywhere possible. To wrap up this introduction, we're going to touch on probably the most unique element of EX Layer currently, which is the Gogi system. Basically, it's a series of power-ups that activate in the middle of the match. They all do different things and are currently set to specific loadouts that you can choose in Character Select. Each power-up will also trigger under specific circumstances. You have both minor and major power-ups. Minor appears in blue and major appears in orange. The set loadouts will cater to a certain playstyle and the powers will match that. So once again, experimentation is going to be key here. Aggro consists of power-ups that will increase your damage output. The minor powers will trigger on simple tasks such as building a bar of meter or dealing chip damage, and the major powers will trigger on dealing specific amounts of damage in a combo or taking a set amount of damage. Juggernaut is packed with power-ups that will increase your utility in the form of extra movement speed, meter gain, and damage, and becomes particularly effective once the Hades power-up will activate, granting you access to super armor if you get knocked down 10 times in total. This is one of those cases where the long game is your objective here. Shinobi is particularly interesting due to the Ghost power-up, which turns all of your forward dashes invisible if you take no damage for 6 seconds. On top of the obvious use of being invisible in a fighting game, it makes your knockdown setups particularly dangerous, as now the opponent can't see what mix-up you're about to go for. Infinity is entirely built around meter. The minor power-ups will give you super meter gain, and Rage gives you infinite super meter if you've spent 10 bars in total, making the final rounds of the game very favourable to you. Miracle is pretty nuts. Maintain a full super meter for 40 seconds and all other major power-ups will activate, including super armor, combo escapes, guard cancelling, and guard breaks all at once. This may sound pretty insane, and it very well might be, but remember, you're not allowed to spend any bar for a very long time, which means you can't deal any damage while the 40 seconds is counting down. We'll have to see what happens with this one. Not everything from previous EX games is still possible in Fighting Layer at the moment. Of course, Excel mode is missing, but I feel like I'd like to say that it's only missing for now. Nobody knows what the plans are for future development just yet, and XL really was a heavily sought after feature from the previous EX games. Although the same moves remain with all the characters, certain combos and loops that existed in EX2 Plus, for example, don't seem to work anymore. Garuda used to have a Sukundan loop where he could juggle his head dive into Sukundan for as long as he had meter. This doesn't work anymore, or at least at the moment. On the flip side, Darren Meister can still loop his Indra Bridge in the corner for as long as he has meter, so I guess it's not a universal change to remove specific loops that existed in previous titles. Otherwise, that's it for now. I wanted to give you all a very short introduction to what makes EX Layer tick. I know that not all of this is likely to stay the same in the future, and this is being taken from a limited time beta, but hopefully it's given you all an idea over what to expect from this game going into 2018. I've personally had a lot of fun with it, and I'm really excited to play the game a lot more when more characters get added to future builds. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.